Hello, my name is Kurt, and today I'll be talking about another MGTOW topic. Now, today's topic is going to be kind of just thinking about things, just speculating. Because I was looking up the prices for plane tickets and just general vacation packages to various Asian countries. And I had my mind set on Thailand for a very, very long time. I remember when I was still in university, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I just want to go to either South Korea, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam even, any of those Asian countries just to be sort of like an English teacher because I'm proficient in the English language, and I think I would be a pretty good teacher. I mean, I really hate school. I always hated school. And, thinking about being a teacher and being in a school environment all the damn time is kind of a drag. That's why I kind of, delayed it a little bit. But, I mean, you're getting paid for it. There's a difference, Back when you actually attend school, it's a different story. You have to struggle and get good grades, and you're not getting paid for shit. But, as a profession, it could be a little hard. You got to work long hours. You got to deal with sometimes immature, students and stuff like that. But the thing that I enjoy about the Asian culture is that most young people and just the culture in general is very, how should I say, passive. So, you'll get a bratty and like freaking annoying student every once in a while. But it's not like here in America where if I were to become like a high school teacher or even a college professor, it would bring the stress levels to a maximum because, the kids here are just really foolish and immature, I just, reminiscing to back when I used to go to school, you had, kids walking through the hallway yelling, gee, you nut, whatever, fighting and freaking, smashing stuff up. And there was always a hassle. During lunchtime, they would break fucking trays against each other's heads and shit. Luckily, they were plastic. They weren't like the metal trays that they had back then because that would cause like a concussion. But still, it's a very chaotic environment to teach today, the American youth. And I'm more drawn into the Asian culture. Like I said, I was researching this for a very long time. Probably since I was around 17, 18. Maybe even younger than that. I was looking into just the general, like, what could I do? Like, how could I make a living and experience a new culture and, just live a very nice, self-sufficient lifestyle? Now, when I was looking it up back then, I didn't look it up recently. If you become a teacher in any sort of Asian country, depending where, most of the time you need a college degree. It could be anything. So you could have a degree from, biology, something as complex as that, or you could have like a really shitty, like easy degree, like, I don't know, literature or something. Like, it just needs to be at least a 2-year degree. But 4-year degree gets you into better spots. But as I was researching, I also realized that there are places that will take you even with a high school education. Now, I have a bunch of credits, so it wouldn't take me long to finish up a degree if I really wanted to, but I just don't feel like attending school again. It just sucks. Even if it would be like one summer semester or 2 winter semesters or whatever, I just don't feel like dealing with that, garbage again. So, with a high school degree and college credits, you could probably get into a decent place. But I mean, they're not going to really count the college credits too much. They'll probably just count the high school degree. So you'll end up getting a job in a more rural type of area, more farm, like sort of low economy places where you're not really going to get paid as much. You're still going to make a decent living, and most of the time, in these Asian countries, if you become a professor, you sign a contract. Or even if you don't sign a contract and it's everything, word of mouth, whatever, 95% of the time they provide you with a place to live. They give you an apartment, and sometimes they pay for the utilities. So you get a free place to stay. You get paid. You could do private tutoring. Obviously, if the students like your personality and they like you as an individual, you could do some private courses here and there. That's extra money on the side. And it's a decent living. I know a couple people that went abroad, and they taught in South Korea for like a year, whatever. They did a 1-year contract. You get vacation, you get paid vacation, so they pay, but you need to have a better degree for that. But they pay for your trip to to America. They pay for your plane ticket, whatever. I don't know if they pay you for holiday pay, but they do take care of that. So that's pretty nice. And you make a decent amount of money. It's not massive. You would probably get paid more as a teacher here in America, but dealing with the American culture and dealing with all this bullshit, and in America they don't pay for anything. You have to have your own place to stay. Transportation's a bitch. The thing that I enjoy when I was looking up Asian places is that everything is very cheap, whether you're in South Korea or Thailand or Philippines. Some are cheaper than others, but it's ridiculous how much bang for your buck you could get in those countries as opposed to here. Here, with like a couple of bucks, you go to McDonald's, even if you get the dollar menu, you're gonna have to dish out at least $5 to $8 to get fed, and that's only once a day. You know what I'm saying? In Thailand, they have street food vendors or even nice restaurants that you could go to. You could get a massive meal, and this ain't no dollar shit. This is no McDonald's dollar menu. This is fresh food prepared for you on the spot with fresh ingredients for like $1.50 a meal, like a whole meal. You get noodles, you get freaking some meat thrown in there, you get a whole bunch of stuff depending on what you want. It's just ultra cheap. It's ultra cheap and ultra nice. Public transportation is pretty cheap too, but I don't mind walking everywhere. I don't mind riding a bike or motorcycle, whatever. You could probably rent out a motorcycle for pretty cheap. And now this is just like I said, this is just a video about speculations of like what I sort of, as a MGTOW, and what I recommend to other MGTOWs is to research all these various different options, because sure, it would be nice to be in America, for example, being some investor or CEO, or talking about self-generating incomes and all that stuff. Like, the main plan as a young man is to save a lot of money and just get into the real estate game or into the investor game. But the investor is a little risky. When it comes to real estate investments, the market's very low right now. It's been at a halt for over 10 years. I remember way back when the houses, the value of houses was skyrocketing. Like, you would have like 2 family houses in a remotely decent neighborhood for like $500,000, and they weren't even that big. But now that same house in that same neighborhood is probably like 100,000, maybe 200,000. So the market really went down. So that's a little bit tricky. But when it comes to the real estate game, it's like you save up enough money and you buy a house, and that house is yours. It's an investment, so you take care of it. If you ever need to get rid of it, you can sell it. Maybe you'll lose some money, but in the end, at least you tried. You know what I'm saying? But the best thing to do is just rent out a bunch of, well, not rent out, but to buy property and rent it out. Even if it's a one-family house, if you get a one-family house in a very, very nice neighborhood, you could rent it out, like that whole house, for like $2,000 a month, And that's in the really good neighborhood, so it's rich people, so they're going to pay you you're not really going to have too many problems. You sign a sort of a contract or a lease for a year where they have to do all the repairs and all that stuff, and it's free money. It's easy money. Now, if you get into the more ghetto neighborhoods, you can get something for way cheaper, but it's going to be in a lot shittier condition, so you have to fix it up a little bit. And I mean, you could still rent it out, but you're not going to get as much for rent. So let's say you have like a 4-family house, or even bigger. You put the rent to like, I don't know, 700 to 1,100 per unit. So you're still getting a decent amount of money, but it's a lot of a hassle. It's just it depends on the neighborhood. It depends on the overall feel of the area. You're gonna have trouble. They're gonna smash your shit. They're gonna smash your windows. They're gonna fucking screw up the toilet. They're gonna freaking mess up the paint and whatever. And you could write your leases and you could do all these things, but in the end, it doesn't protect you that much, because in the ghetto neighborhoods, it's like, the American justice system wants you to believe that as a landlord, oh yeah, I'm protected. If they smash my stuff, I could always sue them. Yeah, but good luck trying to sue them. Good luck paying for all the court fees. Good luck, actually getting them to pay money if they don't have any money. And it's just such a fucking hassle. And it's going to take you a lot of time to get that money back. Like, let's say they smash your stuff up, right? They did like $3,000 worth of damage. If you sue them, it's going to take like a year or two, or even longer, because the courts work slow, if you win in the first place, to get that money back. But I found that the upper hand is, like I said, I don't mean to be like rude or anything, but the ghetto people always have an upper hand. They'll claim discrimination, or they'll say, oh, I have 2 kids or 3 kids, blah 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 blah. Or they just wiggle their way through the whole thing, because they're broke to begin with. They get free lawyers, free everything, and it's a pain in the ass. So, Thailand. Like I said, to me, that's paradise for a lad like me. Everything's super cheap. You get a place to stay, you get a decent job. Asian women, come on, you can't go wrong. And the thing with Asian women, the reason why I'm talking about this as a MGTOW topic is to not get all raveled up and whatever, because I know how Asian women are. I know several Filipina ladies that they're the sweetest freaking. They're Americanized, obviously, so they have that little American culture thing going, but they're still Filipina in heart, They're very sweet, very gentle, very loving ladies, but sometimes it's a disguise, More times, 9 times out of 10, they want to, marry a white dude that's successful in America or whatever, because they have a family in Philippines or Thailand or whatever. And if you get, how should I say, tied up with a Filipina girl or any of these Asian girls, if they're not truly Americanized, you're taking on a heavy burden. You have to pay their parents some sort of money if you want to marry them. That's their culture or something like that. And even then, you're going to have to support their family. That's how it is in their culture. It's like, if you marry their daughter, then that's your responsibility. You're part of the family, and you have to, pay for all that shit. So, let's say her freaking brother, breaks his leg or something. They don't got any money. Guess who's going to pay for that? You are, And that's pretty shitty. But I mean, it's their culture, I can't really blame them. That's just how things were set up there. So that's why I'm saying don't get too involved. Because like I said, I know how these Asian women could be. Sweetest things in existence, but they have a stinger, As the song goes, every rose has its thorn. That's true. Every rose does have its thorn in one way or another. She could be the sweetest thing, but her dark side's gonna come out eventually. And you don't want to be stuck around when that happens. So the main motive and the main thing is just enjoyment, investments, saving your money, enjoying a place that you really like in Thailand. It's tropical weather. It's literally like a paradise over there. Nice beaches, nice weather, whether it's winter or whether it's freaking fall or whatever. You go outside wearing, shorts and no shirt, you'll be all right. And yes, there are places here in America that you could do that if you move down south towards the Texas area or the Florida area or whatever. Yeah, you could have that, but you're going to be paying a shitload of money to live in those places. It's not really worth it most of the time. Like, yeah, I know that Florida craze, those Latina mommies. Yeah, hell yeah. They're fucking sexy, they're fine. But they're fucking crazy most of the time, dude. Like I said, most Latina women are like crazy in a different degree. They're more open about it. Asian women are more, like I said, passive, more submissive. Latino women are more sort of like dominant. If you piss them off, they'll smash a fucking, frying pan against your fucking head, or even threaten to fucking shoot your ass or something. Whereas a Asian woman might fucking put like laxatives in your fucking Coca-Cola or something. It doesn't really get super spiteful, but it might get a little spiteful. So, just speculating, just thinking about things, just throwing out some ideas over there, like for all the older MGTOWs watching. Like, I mean, if you're like an expat, or if you're older, if you're in the retirement age, if you're anywhere in those ranges, or if you're just pretty settled here in America and you don't really have to work, dude, paradise awaits you, man. Like, it literally does. Will it get boring eventually? Yeah, sure, but come on. American culture versus Asian culture. Do you really want to be fucking just stuck walking around these bullshit parts, going to shitty beaches, whatever? Like, nah, man. Place where it's cheap, place where, oh yeah, and when it comes to precious metals and stuff like that, I'm always looking into this stuff like that too. Yeah, gold, you could get silver for a hell of a lot cheaper in Thailand, and it's really good quality too. Obviously, you have to know your precious metals. There's a lot of fakes, but dude, you get fucking like, you buy a bunch of silver, you buy a bunch of gold for like Thai baht, it's super cheap. Bring it back here in America, and that's an income on its own. That's a profit on its own, dude. Like, it's a lot of cash right there. I wouldn't mind doing that, but that's sort of like a side profit. I mean, if you really wanted to, you can make a profession out of anything. So if I really wanted to, I could be a hustler, I could go to Thailand, buy a bunch of products for super cheap, or, even China, whatever. China electronics, but Thailand more precious metals, more artsy-fartsy type of things, silver, art deco, stuff like that. Just buy a whole bunch of shit like that, and then hustle it back to America, sell it for double the price, and do all that back and forth. But then you have to take into account the plane tickets and all this shit, or even if you have connections in Thailand already, when you already go there and you find connections with people, even if they ship the stuff to you, there's always the customs, there's always the shipping costs, there's always issues here and there. So everything has a little bit of issues. You just got to find what's right for you. But for me, that would be like a side income. I would probably be like a teacher, full time if possible, and take my hard-earned money and just buy a whole bunch of precious metals and investment things, and then just ship it back to America to people that I have here, and they sell it off for me, and then they take a little bit of the money and they send me the rest, and it would be pretty easy. I don't really trust the Asian market when it comes to watches, unless they're like Japanese movements or Chinese movements, or watches that are made there. I wouldn't buy a Rolex in Thailand. It's just not going to happen, because it could look like the most legitimate Rolex ever. It could even fool a Rolex, certified technician or a person that like works with Rolex all the time, and knows how to certify it on that stuff. Nowadays, they're making such good fakes that it could fool even a person like that. I mean, eventually the truth will come to the surface. You'll find out that it's a fake, but it's too late when you lost fucking $5,000 already. You know what I'm saying? For like a $500 watch or something. So, wouldn't screw around with that. What I would do is probably try to buy Rolexes in like America for decently cheap, pre-owned, whatever. Take them to Thailand, sell them off for a decent price there. And that's it. I was looking into Japan and all this other stuff, but Japan is more of a costly, expensive place to live and stay. Yeah, Philippines, Thailand, whatever. And each place has different culture. Each place has different people. Thai girls are a hell of a lot different from Filipino girls. Like I said, Filipino girls are more, like I said, they're very nice, they're very sweet, and they're very caring, but they have a very deep financial side, They're the ones that, like, appear to be passive at first, but then when you get mixed up with them, they start wearing the pants, and they start bossing you around, and they could be a good business partner, I'm not going to lie, It would be nice to kind of have somebody to kind of alongside you that motivates you for, the progress of both of your incomes combined. So have a Filipina girl telling you, come on, hustle harder, blah, blah, blah. It could be very motivating. But, there's conniving ones, of course, that just want to steal all your money and all that shit. When it comes to Thai girls, it's just, I would say they're more passive. Like I said, they're not really going to push you, so to speak. It depends on the girl, obviously, but when the money's not coming in, when she's not getting her presents, when she's not, having her family financed, and when the money stops flowing pretty much, that's when they'll start getting a little bit pissed, They'll just leave you pretty much, easy, because they have a whole bunch of fucking other white men they could get with. It's simple as that. So in the marriage thing, they're kind of, like I said, they're passive. They'll be submissive, but there's still, different things that go on there. Anyway, just rambling, just ranting. Like I said, if any young people are watching this, or if older people, like I said, older is better. You're more settled down, you have more opportunities, you already have money. It'll be a very simple thing. When it comes to younger people, it's obviously the hustles involved. You gotta find out a place where you could work and make a steady income, where you could live. You gotta learn the language a little bit, As an older person, you really don't have to give a shit about that. You just get a nice place there, just fool around, have a good time, and just, make a living in America, whatever. Or, find a way to make a living there. Like I said, if you already have the money, just hustle, precious metals, this and that. But as a young lad, you gotta hustle. You gotta make that money, spin it around, flip it around into investments, and you always have to worry, How am I going to finance my next meal? How am I going to finance my meals for the next month? Whereas with older people, you don't have to worry about that. You already have money in the bank, so to speak. So that's pretty much it. Look into it. Oh yeah, and the women, obviously. Thai bar girls, prostitution is obviously legal there. In all those Asian countries that I was, that's a big part of why I want to go there. I'm not going to lie. I'm a horn dog. Nothing but a horn dog. Yeah, dude. It would be nice. And it's super cheap there, too. I was looking into all that stuff at a very young age. I was like, you could get a whole girl for like a whole night. She'll stay with you overnight. You could fuck her a couple of times. She'll sleep with you. She'll eat with you. She'll do all that shit for like $40. $40. Now combine that here to America. If you go to legal prostitution places like Las Vegas or just in general, you're looking at like $200 for half an hour, $300 for an hour, like a couple grand overnight, and they don't even stay overnight. It's just like from like 12 o'clock to like 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's like 6 hours. You're looking at like $5,000 right there. I mean, if you're in the area and if you're into that shit, I mean, you go with it. $100, 150, whatever, you just do it. But if you compare the options, like I said, Asian paradise, Asian women, fucking whatever you're into, whether it be lady boys, whether it be regular girls, whether it be whatever the fuck you're into, they have it there in the Asian countries. And if you make a comparison, it just doesn't make sense to be here. It doesn't make sense to be in America anymore. It's a country that's going downhill. As hard as it is for me to say that, like I remember being young, growing up in the 90s and shit like that, times were a lot different than they are now. Everything, whether it's music and economy, everything was completely different. Like, and I know times are changing, but America has been sort of a really good country. You'd have third world country people coming here to make a living, but now third world country people are coming here and they're barely getting by because it's that difficult. It's that hard. you know Back then, if you were born in America, that it was considered some sort of fucking blessing or something. It's like, yeah, man, you were born with a silver spoon, you have all these opportunities, whatever. Not anymore. You're born in America, you're fucked just as the other people are. It's really rough. And getting into politics, you look at the election, you have Hillary and fucking Trump. One promise is to make America great again, but they're all conniving fucking bastards in one way or another. They really don't give a shit. So it's at this point already. You got to think of the present time, and bounce. And if the future gets better, like let's say a new president comes in and things get better in America, you could always come back. You know what I'm saying? But why suffer in the meantime? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Peace out, people. Hope that was entertaining and informative.